Hey there YouTube, Wrestling Optimus here, back with another action figure review. We've come to the end of another wrestling week, which means it's time for SmackDown on Fox. WWE is still tying up some loose ends from the draft, so brand allegiance might be a little confusing for one more night, but otherwise, it looks like it's going to be a really good show. As always, if you're new here, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more pro wrestling and action figure content. For now, we're headed into the Thunderdome. So for a recap and review, let's take it over to the action figures. SmackDown begins with the entire roster on stage while Triple H and Stephanie are in the ring. Apparently, it's the season premiere. They run down tonight's card and do awkward intros for some of the wrestlers. Triple H makes an equally cringy Rick James joke about Lars Sullivan being a super freak. The only thing super freaky about Lars are his online posts and his DMs to women. Get this creep off TV. When Triple H introduces the Street Profits, they're attacked by their opponents tonight, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. All hell breaks loose as everyone spills down the ramp and into the ring, going after their respective rivals. Then Lars Sullivan comes out. Sammy appears to stand with the babyfaces at first, then bails. Lars plows through Kalisto, Apollo Crews, and Chad Gable. He's finally taken out from behind by Jeff Hardy. Their match is first, but again, I don't want to give Sullivan any attention, so just know that he wins with a freak accident, unceremoniously sending Hardy to Raw. Even if you don't have issues with him personally like I do, you have to admit the freak gimmick is already tiresome. According to Sean Ross Sapp, they said freak on commentary 22 times in a 7.5 minute match, 16 of which came from Michael Cole alone. For some reason, Jeff Jarrett is in the audience on one of the screens and can only shake his head in shame. There's a quick video package for Bianca Belair, who I just realized probably got moved to SmackDown to be with her husband, but that means Naomi got moved over to Raw away from hers. Regardless, looks like we're still waiting for her proper debut. The New Day come out for a farewell promo before their final match on SmackDown. Big E announces them as 9-time champs, meaning that they aren't counting the exchange as another title reign. Warning, get your hankies ready, folks. Big E starts by claiming that they finally found one thing stronger than the power of positivity, the damn WWE Draft. Kofi says that they've gone through a plethora of emotions over the past week, but really, what made them smile was the outpouring of memories and favorite moments that fans have been sharing on social media. Xavier's the first to audibly choke up. He recounts how Kofi and E didn't have to take a chance on him when he was doing nothing and going nowhere, but they trusted him with an idea that turned into the best 6 years of his life. Big E says that he's thankful to have gotten to know their families because he doesn't have one yet. Finally, Kofi admits that he's never said this on TV, but in 2012, he was about to quit the business when he was suddenly approached with an idea to do something special. He's so glad that Woods and E came along for that journey because, in addition to all the iconic things that they've done in the ring, he gained 2 of his best friends ever. They close with Kofi saying, "I consider you two my brothers in every sense of the word. I love you." Everyone's a sobbing mess, even Corey. Xavier says enough with the sappy stuff, it's time to whoop some tail together one last time because New Day rocks. In 6-man action, they take on Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Sheamus, aka 3/4 of my fantasy booking for a new League of Nations. Beforehand, those guys say that they're excited to be the ones who get to beat New Day in their final match on SmackDown. This is the first time in months that all 3 members of New Day have been in the ring together. Commentary references Sheamus and Cesaro's former tag team, The Bar, and their history with New Day just as they double-team Woods and flash their old hand gesture. New Day one-up them with a triple team move involving powerbombing Woods onto Cesaro and a Kofi Kingston splash off the top rope. It's short-lived as the heels isolate Kofi in their corner and wear him down through a commercial break. When we do come back, Big E gets the hot tag and cleans house. It's a spot fest ending. Cesaro and Shinsuke hit their combination swing and Kinshasa, The Bar hit an assisted white noise, E hits the big ending, and after some smack talk from Sheamus, where he rightfully takes credit for much of the New Day's success, Big E and Woods fittingly hit one last midnight hour together for the win. I don't know why I expected anything less than pay-per-view quality for New Day's final match, especially against these three and after such an emotional promo. They huddle up and you can hear Big E say, "I love you. Y'all forever be a part of my spirit. I can't thank you enough." Who's chopping onions in here? Seriously though, that promo and this match were absolutely perfect. All the references and callbacks, memorializing a 6-year run by possibly the greatest team of all time, were beautiful. And although I still don't agree with splitting them up, I'm so glad that WWE let them have this moment rather than making one of them turn heel like they always do. Thanks for the memories, New Day. Kayla Braxton asks Otis about the Miz's lawsuit because I guess we're still doing that. Sami Zayn interrupts and points out that both Tucker and Mandy were drafted to Raw, and without them, Otis is sure to lose. I really thought for a second that he was going to offer to help because Lawyer Sammy would probably be really fun, but instead, he just calls Otis stupid and gets shoved to the ground. How rude. Daniel Bryan makes his debut in the Thunderdome after 4 months away. I gotta say though, virtual yes chants just don't have the same impact. He waves to Brie and Birdie on one of the fan screens. That was cute. Similar to Triple H, he lists all the people on the new SmackDown roster that he wants to face. That brings out Seth Rollins, who's upset that he was left off the list. He says you're either with him or against him, but he assumes a man of Bryan's intellect wants to help mold the future of this industry in Seth's vision. Bryan's all about changing the future for the better. He wants to save the planet and make SmackDown the best it can be, but Seth's vision is short-sighted, self-indulgent, self-centered, and just kinda dumb. Seth punches him in the face, but Daniel fights back with some yes kicks, sending Seth cowering up the ramp. Suddenly, Rey Mysterio's music plays. He and Dominic come out and force Rollins back into the ring, where he tries to befriend Bryan, but Daniel just smiles and leaves. Murphy comes running out and slides into the ring, perfectly between Seth and Rey. He hesitates for a second, then slams Rollins to the mat and gives him a running knee strike. Baby face turn confirmed. However, when he offers his hand in friendship, the Mysterios can't bring themselves to trust him. They leave the former disciple hanging and walk out. Due to some draft-related nonsense, the debuting Street Profits defend their new SmackDown Tag Team titles against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. This match makes no sense. After roughly 2 minutes, the heels violate the referee's 5 count and get disqualified. Why would they do that in a title match? They beat up Dawkins until they're hit by a crossbody from Montez. Commentary puts over the Street Profits like they made a huge statement, but this felt like nothing. I would even say Angelo Dawkins came across looking downright weak, and he's supposed to be the team's heavy. This is yet another reason to unify the tag belts. Side note, the quality and quantity of pyro in the Thunderdome has really improved over time. I especially noticed during Bayley and Sasha's entrances. Speaking of which, they come out for a classic pro wrestling contract signing with not really the GM Adam Pearce presiding. Sasha immediately signs and goes to speak first, but Bayley interrupts and says she can't wait to be done with Banks so she can get back to her historic reign as SmackDown Women's Champion. Something she claims to have done by herself. That pisses off Sasha, but Bayley continues. She's seen that look in Sasha's eye. It's how she's stared at Bayley and her championship for years, just waiting for the right moment to turn on her. Now she's just upset because Bayley beat her to the punch. Sasha counters, saying that if she wanted to turn on Bayley, she would have done it long ago, but instead, she's been there for Bayley since day one. She called up Bayley to be her partner on Raw when she was still stuck down in NXT. She was there when Bayley won the SmackDown Women's Championship. And then there's the tag team titles. She stands up and finishes by saying, "You turned your back on me and tried to end my career, so at Hell in a Cell, I'm going to end you, because I'm Sasha Banks and my name is bigger than your title." Damn, nice mic drop. Humiliated, Bayley refuses to sign the contract and storms out of the ring. Sasha tells her that she can run away now, but she's going to sign that contract one way or another. And when Bayley is locked inside Hell in a Cell, there won't be anywhere to run. Oh my god, the table survived a contract signing. 2020 really is weird. Both of these promos were delivered perfectly, but what makes this whole segment so incredible is how they're both right. Sasha does have a long, documented history of stabbing people in the back, especially friends. Corey Graves practically turned it into a meme. Even the fans were talking about her shady looks at Bayley's title. So from that perspective, Bayley was just protecting herself. Besides, her new dark, selfish personality has been far more successful than her happy, trusting personality ever was. On the other hand, Bayley is the one person that Sasha hasn't really betrayed, despite ample opportunities. In a wonderful reversal of fortunes, the one time Banks decided to be loyal, it backfired. It's time for our main event as Braun Strowman takes on the Universal Champion and Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Although the justifications for this match make zero sense, I'll admit at least that the presentation did have a legitimate big fight feel. In particular, I liked Greg Hamilton's introductions, listing off both men's accolades because I forgot how many championships Braun has won. He was portrayed as exactly the monster that he claims to be. We also got analysis from Fox Sports personalities all night, which helped build the anticipation while distracting away from the fact that, in the end, all of this was completely meaningless, but in the best possible way. Roman dominates until Braun sends him over the barricade with a Strowman Express. Reigns whiffs on a Superman punch, only for Braun to catch him by the neck and scream in his face, "I'm gonna show you why I earned this. Remember, Roman, I'm not finished with you." He nails a chokeslam, but just like in his match with Jey Uso, Reigns hits the monster in the balls while kicking out. Roman hits a spear, but Strowman also kicks out. So in an oddly effective strategy, Roman locks in a guillotine choke with leg scissors to get a rare submission victory. Jey Uso watches from the stage as Roman hits another spear and tells him to get his ass down to the ring. With only the eerie sounds of Strowman audibly wheezing in the background, and just loud enough for the audience to hear, he says this is how they take care of generations of their family. He arrogantly claims that if he's not on top, they can't do that, and warns if this is what he can do to Braun, imagine what he'll do to Jey inside Hell in a Cell. With that, he viciously lays into Strowman with a steel chair. Even when officials step in, he casually shoves them aside and keeps going. Dropping the chair, he says usually he'd never hurt his cousin, but Jey forced his hand. He's trying to take Roman's place and be on the same level, and it makes no sense, yet he still loves him. So he tells Jey to prove himself to the family and take Roman's place. Reigns turns around and exposes his back. Jey picks up the chair, hesitantly looks at his cousin before throwing it down. Roman smiles and goes to hug Jey, but catches a super kick to the face. The youngest and oft-forgotten Uso picks the chair back up and screams, "You love me? I love you too." He yells it each time he smashes the chair across Roman's back until he too is finally restrained by officials. But that leaves him vulnerable, and Reigns stuns him with a Superman punch before shaking his head in disappointment and saying, "That was your last chance. Now I have to turn my back on you." Wow, and I thought AEW knew how to do emotion. Everything about the tone of that final segment was magnificent. Just like their match at Clash of Champions, it was unsettling, tense, and you have no clue what Roman is thinking or what he'll do next. Yet even if it seems brutal and callous on the outside, he always seems to have a brilliant internal justification for all the terrible things that he's doing. And that's exactly what makes us, the audience, pull so hard for Jey, even though we know it's 100% futile. He's not just a babyface in peril, he's got a goddamn death wish. That episode absolutely flew by, almost as much as an episode of Dynamite. Rumor is WWE is throwing everything they think will draw ratings at SmackDown in order to save their lucrative TV contract with Fox. That would certainly explain why it was so good. Then again, Roman, Bayley, and Sasha have simultaneously hit their stride, and they're cranking out fantastic stuff each and every week. Add in the New Day's heart-wrenching farewell promo, the intrigue of Buddy's babyface turn, and a fun debut from the Street Profits, who've proven that they can carry a tag team division, and you've got yourself the recipe for an awesome edition of what's quickly becoming WWE's flagship program. Sorry, Raw, you had a good run. Alright, that will do it for SmackDown on Fox. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. I'll be back on Tuesday with an action figure review of Monday Night Raw, so stop back then. As always, if you found me and enjoy my content, make sure to do all that normal YouTube stuff. Smash the like button, share with any wrestling or action figure fans you may know, subscribe to the channel, and spread the word. You can also talk to me over on Twitter at PSUOptimus, or check out my best figure photography over on Instagram at WrestlingOptimus. If you haven't seen my review of Dynamite's 30th anniversary show, you can check that out right here. But until next time, I've been Wrestling Optimus, and I'll catch you later.